Hey guys, it's me, Aego here. Hi. Hello. It's been a while since I've done a swatch review, so today I'm gonna be doing a very thorough and honest review with the products I have with me today with its previous versions of it. Hera's Glow Lasting 24-Hour Radiant Skin Foundation. This was actually renewed quite a while ago. To start, when comparing it to the previous version, at first glance, the design is different. While the previous version had a luxurious feel, the renewed version has a much cleaner and simple feel. The pumps also have different designs. The old version has a round entrance, while the renewed version has a slightly flat entrance with the Hera logo on top. The old version of the foundation was released in a total of 12 colors, but the renewed version was released in a total of 8 colors. Along with the difference in the number of color selection available, there are also reviews saying that the colors seem different from the old version as well. When squeezing the pump, you can see that the content of both the old and renewed versions came out watery. The renewed version seems to release a larger amount than expected, so it'd be ideal to adjust the force applied with your finger when pumping. Both versions have a moist application, but personally, the old version felt more viscous and the renewed version felt waterier. The renewed version seemed to have a much lighter and thinner formulation. Upon applying an appropriate amount, I'd expected it to be very moisturizing as it's a glow foundation, but it felt smoother rather than watery. But since the old version felt even less moisturizing, it can be said that the renewed version is more moisturizing. If you look at the finish after applying it, the old version and the renewed versions are different. Both have a moist feel, but the old version has a smooth finish with a subtle glow, while the renewed version seems to have a stronger watery glow. In short, the old version feels like it glows from the inside, and the renewed version seems to glow from the surface. I also took a video of me applying the old version and the renewed version half of my face. While both were applied on after completing the same skincare, the old version shows some blackheads and dead skin next to the nose. On the other hand, the renewed version was very clean and had no pores, blackheads, or dead skin stand out. As for the coverage, as it's a glowy foundation, they both display a similar low coverage appearance with only one layer applied. But when layered, the old version does not layer while the renewed version can. However, I find my skin texture looks much prettier with just one layer on rather than multiple layers. When testing to see how much it smears with the tissue, I could see that while both transfers quite a bit, which is expected as they are glow products, the renewed version seemed to come out more evenly. When looking at the face, both versions feel like only the glow has been removed without any peeling or falling apart. It stays looking smooth like it's my natural skin. In terms of durability, blackheads and dead skin stood out when the old version was applied, but there were no visible wrinkles. The renewed version, on the other hand, does a good job concealing my blackheads and keeps my dead skin grounded, but if I really have to say something, it seems to very slightly get between my wrinkles. Overall, it seems to have a quite good lasting power as it doesn't cause pores to appear, control oiliness well, and keeps the skin looking smooth for a long time. The shades look very similar overall. They seem to be divided into pink base and yellow base, but I don't seem to notice much of a difference. It seems like a lot of attention was paid to the colors during the renewal, and it feels like it was made very delicately. Now I'm gonna explain the shades by applying them on my face. I only have the older version shade of 23 and 1, so I'll find a similar shade by applying them on my face. 13 and 1 Porcelain. Perhaps because it's the brightest shade, it has a whitish feel to it. The shade is neither too pink nor too yellow, so it seems quite neutral. I recommend it for those who use shades number 17 to 19, which are lighter shades than number 21. 17C1 Petal Ivory. This looks like a light strawberry milk color with a slight pink tint. It seems to be a good shade for those who usually use pink base number 21. Since it has a light strawberry milk color, I recommend for cool-toned people who like bright number 21 with a bright feel. 17 and 1 Ivory. This is a slightly pink base, but it's so subtle that it almost looks neutral. It's a shade I recommend for bright number 21 like Petal Ivory, but it feels like there is a less redness than Petal Ivory, so I think it would be also good for those who use a neutral base. 21C1 Rose Vanilla. While it seems to have a pinkish feel to it, it does feel a bit warmer than 17C1. While 17C1 had a cool pink base, 21C1 felt like a warm pink base. This shade is also recommended for number 21, but only for those who use number 21 as it's the perfect number 21 shade. 21 and 1 Vanilla. It's a shade with a slight ash tone and seems to cover up redness well. It actually seemed natural for me too, who normally uses number 23, so I think who use 23 and 1 of the older version can also use this shade. But since the renewed version has a brighter feel, I recommend for those who use bright number 23. 21W1 Warm Vanilla. This looks like a neutral number 23 shade and feels very similar to vanilla, but a little warmer. Even though it has a warm feeling, it does not feel yellow, so it feels natural when applied to the face. But for me, who often uses number 23, I find this to be a bit bright for me, but I think it's okay. 23N1 Beige. This is almost the same as the warm vanilla shade, but the beige seems to have a warmer feel. If the vanilla shade was a bright number 23, the beige shade seems to be a number 23 that matches more naturally with the skin tone. This looks perfectly the same with 23N1 of the older version. 25N1 Amber. I thought it'd be really dark since it was number 25, but it wasn't as dark as I thought. It does feel red, but it doesn't look much different from my natural skin when I applied it to my face, and personally, I think those who use shade number 24 would suit this one. The shades were so similar that it was a bit difficult to explain. I felt like the shades were made very delicately that it might be a bit difficult for you to choose the color. Pink base. 17C1 Petal Ivory, 21C1 Rose Vanilla, 25N1 Amber, neutral base. 13N1 Porcelain, 21W1 Warm Vanilla, neutral pink base. 17N1 Ivory, neutral yellow base. 23N1 Beige, neutral ash base. 21N1 Vanilla. I think it'd be a good idea to refer to this when choosing a shade. And there's one more thing I want to tell you. I think the finish is a bit different depending on what tool you use to apply it. It seems to be a bit less glowy when applied by hand. Although it's glowy, it feels like there is an inner glow. When applied with a brush, it spreads thinly and leaves no brush marks. It felt more natural than when applied it with my hands. When applied with a puff, it felt thicker than expected. It still applies thinly, but it feels thicker than a brush. When applied with a spatula and puff, it feels like it's applied more transparently because it spreads thinly and then patted. Personally, I like the combination of spatula and puff the best. The skin texture appears to be very pretty as it adheres thinly onto the skin. Hera Glow Lasting Foundation. What do you think? If anyone has tried it, please leave comments. So my video is still here. Thank you for watching my video today. Don't forget to subscribe, press the like buttons, and please leave some comments for me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.